We're recording. All right, everybody, welcome back to another Serious Angler podcast. This is episode number 103. Pretty cool episode because my good buddy Andrew Full is joining us tonight, not only to talk fishing, but also to announce something pretty cool for you guys. But before we get into today's podcast, Andrew and I both would like to thank Douglas Outdoors for sponsoring this podcast. Excuse my squeak. Do not laugh down there. I can see you. I have Andrew queued up here, ready to go, but want to thank Douglas Outdoors for sponsoring the podcast. We really do appreciate your support, and obviously we do appreciate the performing rods that you guys create, the high-performance rods that you make that are ever so amazing. Thank you, Fred Kintawi, if you're listening to this. And also a huge shout-out to Queen Tackle for sponsoring the podcast. If you guys would like to get some premium quality jigs, weights, and some pretty innovative products, you can use code SeriousAngler20 at checkout to save yourself some money on some high-quality products. So with that being said, without further ado, we're going to bring on my good buddy here, Mr. Andrew Full. We're going to bring his ugly face in right about now. What's going on, dude?
Almost got a good one. No, not too much. Just hanging out, baby sleeping, and, having a good time, drinking beers.
Drinking some beers. So it's like an Ike Live podcast right now. You're drinking some Founders beer.
Only if you had it lined up, I only got one.
Yeah. Dude, I've been seriously thinking about getting on either a beer or like a liquor to like a sponsor for the podcast. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
Be legit.
Yeah.
Especially because you're over the age of 21, so it's even better.
Yeah. I got the big 23 coming up soon.
Oh, man, I turned 30 in 2 months to the date. Not looking forward to it.
Is that September?
23rd.
September 23rd. So like a month after you, I turned 23.
Ooh.
On that weekend where we'll be competing against each other. And I'm going to be talking the most crap. Even if I zero and you guys blast 30 pounds, I'm still going to talk crap.
I might not just talk to you the whole 2 days.
You won't
just ignore you.
On my birthday?
Cold shoulder.
On my birthday. That's so cruel.
Game face.
Game face. Dude, you'll be the most serious person, and Destin will be walking around saying hi to everybody.
No, I almost guarantee you that it would be exact opposite. Destin will be way more serious because if I'm serious, I suck. I have to be like so loosey-goosey when I fish. That's when I fish the best.
See,
if I'm you saw like how we were at Sodas, like I was going wild just having a wall with it, and I just started wailing on them there for like that 30-second clip that was just insane. Somebody's big head got in the way.
Yeah, whatever. It worked for you. It didn't work for me. See, you got me distracted, and obviously I didn't catch crap.
Sometimes you just gotta be all set.
You see, I don't see when I talk like I'm all relaxed and everything. I don't focus, and when I focus, when I catch fish, I think that's the problem.
It's got to be like the squirrel thoughts in my head, just like all over the place. And
yeah.
If I stare at something too long, I'm just like,
just zone out.
Yeah. So I have to be multitasking. I'm way more in the zone for whatever reason.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. That's just, I guess, mentality, right? That's just,
everybody has their own thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. So let's get the screen queued up for everybody here. But dude, for those of everybody listening and watching right now, I am upset today. We had some unfortunate news that the BFL on the St. Lawrence River is canceled, which after watching the Bassmasters today, I am extremely pissed about being canceled. Thankfully, we still have the Fed there on Sunday, but I am pretty bummed about that because I was looking forward to spending some days on the river, which I still am. We're going to be practicing, though. They're not days where I can whale on fish on where I hopefully had a boater that knew what he was doing.
Yeah, Messina's an entirely different world up there. Like, I don't even want to go up there, so best of luck to you. But you know what sucks most about them canceling those BFLs is the fact that they moved it to the Potomac, right?
Yeah, which you pretty much luck out you screw over every New York angler.
Every New York angler cannot go to Maryland because when they return, they can't work for 14 days. So it's like, come on. And then even funnier news, not so funny, it's kind of serious, but with Ohio, now they have travel bans to like Florida, Alabama, Texas. So what are they going to do about the Costa event in Sandusky? Are they going to make all these anglers quarantine? Because isn't that why they moved it from the St. Lawrence, is because New York has all these strict testing laws And now they go to Ohio, and now they're putting the same thing in place. So what are they going to do? Move all these tournaments again somewhere else just for the easeability to make a tournament run while we're in the middle of a pandemic? I mean, I'm not the biggest Cuomo fan, but I actually praise him for working with Bass to get these two elite events. At least we got two of the three, and I'll be really excited to see what the viewership is at the end of this on ESPN2 after you follow. I think they had 2.6 million views or 2.8 million views. Don't quote me. Just insane, yeah. And I have a feeling the St. Lawrence is going to be even more just because New York viewership should go up.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they did the weigh-ins on ESPN, especially with an event like today when they don't have marshals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because how many people would have loved on ESPN2 seeing a 7-pound, 13-ounce freaking smallmouth?
Giant. Like,
oh my God.
Insane.
I would do very, very bad things to catch a 7-pound, 13-ounce smallmouth.
Yeah.
I would do a lot of things. I would, I would take 50 years out of my life to catch a 7-pound, 13-ounce smallmouth.
We're talking about this earlier. I am blessed to have seen one about that big come from Erie, landed in my boat 2 springs ago. Just when they get above 6 pounds, they're an entirely different looking fish. But when they get to 7, they are fugly, beautiful creatures. That's the easiest way to put it.
It's like
you're reeling in a 10-pound carp. It's like, what is this giant thing coming up, and then it jumps, and you squeal like a little girl in excitement because it's the biggest bass you've ever seen in your life. To put it in perspective, a 7-pound, 13-ounce bass is probably 24 and a half inches long, and it probably has a girth of around 18 to 20 inches. We're talking just a football. It's massive.
Man, I would love to know what the girth was on that thing, because out of the finger lakes, I've caught some 18 inches that were 17 inches around.
Yeah. And they're 4.5 pounders. Yeah, they're just monsters.
You made a great point, though. Imagine that thing in the pre-spawn or in the fall.
4 weeks ago, that fish would have been 8.5 pounds.
Could you? Oh, that'd be stupid. Absolutely stupid. That was a state record 4 weeks ago.
Or let's say, because a lot of our fish start getting their eggs beginning of September to spawn in the spring the following year. So if that fish was caught maybe end of September, October, probably would have been an 8.5 pounder. What is that, 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks from now, it would have been back to its pre-spawn weight, just gorging itself in 6-inch gobies. It's just, that place is ridiculous.
Yeah, put a GPS tracker on it and follow it around on sonar and just keep dropping on its head.
Like the old bass days when they used to go out and catch one the day before, or a couple days before, and tag it and follow it around. You ever see those?
No.
Oh, yeah. Go back to YouTube. They have I want to say it's 2008 or 2009. Jerry McInnes put radar tags and fish and followed them around. It's pretty cool.
Wait, I remember seeing something on a Bass Live where they might have had a bass tracked or GPS, because when they went out in the live boat, the guy that would follow them around and commentate on the water, they have a screen saying the radar sent the fish is over here somewhere in this area. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but they did something more interactive with the screen. They would actually pinpoint what the fish was doing and where it moved. The one was this fish traveled 15 miles. It was a big one, 6.5, 7-pounder, and the current's flowing through. And then one day the wind stopped, so he moved all the way around this point to this random wood pile over here. It's that's crazy.
I would love to see how they take a handful of fish, put a tracker on them for a year, and see how they migrate. What's their cycle? Do they have a pattern, or do they literally just wander?
Dude, I think Erie fish are more patternized than we think, but I think a lot of Finger Lake fish are way more nomadic than we realize. I read something somewhere where smallies can travel up to 25 to 40 miles a day, which is insane. Yeah, super nomadic.
Oh my God.
That's one lap around Oneida Lake. It's just insane how much they can move in one day.
That's especially because you have them it seems like in the pre-spawn, obviously they find, let's say, some sort of structure to sit on. So they're technically, you'd think that they'd be there, or at least in that vicinity, for a while. They spawn, summer patterns, they're all over the freaking place, chasing bait. I'm sure they'll find another place way, miles down to settle.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And then each year they settle in a different area. I don't know. Maybe that's a weird thing to think about. It would be cool to study that.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be hard. You would literally need like shark tracking devices to put on them to monitor them with GPS for like a year just to watch their movements.
Could you imagine fishing at night and just seeing a flashing red dot?
Just like 30 foot down because Lake Erie is so clear. It's like, what the?
What the heck is that thing? It would take dropping on fish to a whole nother level.
It would, yes. It would.
You don't look at your sonar anymore. You just look for the red dot.
Just look for the red dot. Got me thinking.
Speaking of Erie, dude, how have your Wednesday nighters been going?
They've been rough. I mean, see, the first one I fished, we had a 5 and a 4.5 and a pipsqueak 2.5 pounder. I think we came in like 7th place with 11.5 pounds. Then the next one I fished, we didn't weigh because we had like 7 pounds for 3. And then this last one, we had 5 or 6. We had 6 bites. We threw back the first fish we caught. Forrest.
We have a special guest. We're gonna get him on the phone. I told you you'd call. Hey, buddy.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, Cheeks.
You're a special guest. Somebody wants to say hi to you.
What?
Hey, buddy.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
It's Andrew. We're on a podcast right now.
On a podcast?
Yeah, we're filming a podcast right now as we speak.
Oh.
You're on a podcast.
Oh, yeah. I'm on a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh. Hello,
Special guest.
Hello, podcast.
You're being graced with my presence.
Love it.
What's up, buddy?
I talked to a while ago.
Yeah, I was just going to talk to you because we're going fishing tomorrow morning. Me and Forrest are going fishing. We're going to Andrew's favorite lake. We're not allowed
to catch 100 fish tomorrow.
We're going to catch 100 fish, and they're probably going to be a 5 fish total of 7
pounds. Yep,
jigs. You mean 100 fish total of 5?
Yeah, literally.
When you get 5 fish at Honey Eye for 7 pounds, it is just automatically deemed the Honey Eye special.
Oh, you got any extra buzz baits? I do not know where any of mine are.
We barely had this conversation earlier.
I own 2. I own 1 white and 1 black, so you can have the white one because I'm throwing the black one.
No, you can throw the white one. I want the black one.
We'll argue about this in the morning.
You know what? I'm going to throw my rivet.
There you go.
Perfect. It'll work.
You throw that.
Oh, no. Who just come out with it there? The new frog that looks like a horny toad?
Oh,
Berkeley
Power. Yeah, Berkeley.
The HD or whatever?
Yeah, don't need no Berkeley HD. I got horny toads and rivets.
We'll discuss it later.
Yeah, you get Bailey if you drink. He's a horny toad too.
Oh my
God. Hey, question for us. Did you put the is he still on the phone?
Yeah.
Did you put the carrot in between the pen sticker on his car?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Story time here for all of us. So for you watching and listening, you're going to be graced by a very funny story. And if you don't follow my personal social media, you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about.
Sorry for the interjection.
I'm a Penguins fan. Hate me or love me, whatever. So I have a sticker on my car that says Pens. So it's PENS. And as you know, people have some sick and twisted minds and took a Sharpie to my pen sticker and inserted an I with the Sharpie between the N and the S, and I'll let you figure that out what that spells. But basically, that was on the back of my car for who knows how long. Was that you?
I just assumed it was Forrest.
Oh, you just said it's in Sodas, so I was like, I figured it was him. It might have been somebody at Sodas, honestly.
Oh gosh, that'd be too funny.
Because we were parked along with other people. We were one of the first ones in the water.
I blame Forrest. He got you at Orbacher's.
Yeah, but I was around Forrest from all launch and when we came back in. So I don't think it was Forrest.
Did you have to pee at all?
No. It could have been Brandon, maybe. If Brandon Berlinski's listening to this, I think it was you. It's
Lame
funny.
game.
I'm not even mad about it. I think it was hilarious. But I was just like, oh, dang, I had to take the sticker off now. Ooh,
What? No, you gotta leave it there.
I took it off.
But you really took it off?
Yeah, dude.
Why?
Just like I took the Mega Bass sticker off of my rudder of my kayak.
Come on.
Yeah, another story.
The ass sticker.
Yeah, the ass. Yeah, I took off the Mega B and left the ass on my rudder. And I left it there for like 3 weeks. I forgot about it.
You pointed out at Sodas. I was dying. I was like, yes, it's still there.
All right, Forrest. Well, I will call you after this. What?
All right, we'll see you.
See you, buddy. There's your special guest for the day.
I love it.
I should add in some call-in feature.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So
you just call forward your phone and be like, yeah, deny.
I should have Steve on again and then bring on a whole bunch of people he doesn't like.
Oh, there's some ones we could probably say.
Yeah, I won't mention them, but we're bring on a lot.
Some that we may want to have on the podcast, some we may not want to have.
Okay, some you guys want on the podcast, and some I really don't. Not to get this in this controversial little area.
Yeah, we're gonna spin away from this.
Yeah, we're gonna avoid that topic. Yeah, we're gonna turn right instead of left. Thanks.
Yes, right.
Oh, dude. Okay, yeah, we're talking about Lake Erie. Your Wednesday
nighters. Yeah.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, well, I don't know if it's for whatever reason. It's just the one tournament where we had like 6 pounds. We literally went right when we should have went left, and we started on some deep rock stuff that right about now it starts to play, which is how we got our 10 pounds. Last night, I don't remember what day it is, but last week when we fished the same tournament, it was bill void, empty, and except for about 25 sheephead that weighed about 12 pounds apiece that we wasted about a half hour on, and then we just got scrambled and tossed them all in at 845 or 6 pounds and put the boat on the trailer. But yesterday, we went out there in 3 to 5 footers. It took us about 20 minutes to get to our main area. And right away, my partner, Jeff, catches like a 2.5. And we're both like, that one won't help us. So we threw it back. Little did we know, an hour later, we still had another bite.
Oh,
and then I caught one that was about 5, maybe even a little over 5. Didn't weigh any of them. Threw it in the well, and I was like, all right, now we're in business. 40 more minutes go by. We have one fish in the live well, about 5 pounds. Then Jeff loses a giant, just comes off for whatever reason. Immediately after I catch one that's like 4.5. Next thing we know, it's 8:30. We have 2 fish in the boat, and we catch a 1.5. And we're like, all right, 1.5. We're like, all right, sweet. Maybe we have a shot. 15 pounds one. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then second place was, I think, just under 13, and then third, I think, was like 11.3 or 11.4. So if we would have kept that 2.5 pounder, we would have been right there, possibly in the money. So it's just
never throw a fish back.
Never throw a fish back in a 3-hour derby till you catch a few more.
You have your limit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like if it was a 5-fish derby on Erie, those are fish we throw back every time. We won't even keep them because we call them liabilities. They always end up, after you fizz them or if you wait 10 minutes too long to fizz them, they end up belly up in your live well and they die. So it's like, it's one of those catch-22s that we find ourselves in. It's if you catch a good one right off the bat, you're probably going to throw it in.
Yeah.
But because it's your first bite, you're expecting to catch bigger ones. You throw it back because you don't want it to be a liability.
Yeah.
So it's there's been so many times in those tournaments where you throw a 2-pounder in your live well, and then you go back there if you catch a 4-pounder and you go to open your live well lid and it's bright orange-eyed, not moving, and dead. So so liability, throw them back every time unless you need a 5th fish.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm not excited for that this weekend. I've obviously fished boater tournaments, but like it's going to be on me to take care of my own fish.
Yeah.
Where it's always like me and somebody else.
You'll be okay. Just
I got G-Juice. We're good.
G-Juice and get a fizz needle if you catch them deep.
See, that's the thing. Like I have to be prepared for everything as a co-angler, whereas a boater can kind of deck out what he wants to go for. That's what's kind of interesting about this. But
so
I guess I can ask them the night prior what the general plan is, so I can be prepared for it. I mean, do they have to tell me, or like?
they don't have to, but you should probably be prepared for everything.
Yeah.
But if you go deep or shallow where your tournament is, you can catch them basically doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So for the most part,
if we're 20 foot and less, I guess it depends on how we're catching them. I feel like I'll be fine. I wouldn't need ice or anything like that.
I mean, usually the boater will bring ice. You don't really have to worry about ice too much. I actually am not a fan of putting ice on fish at all. I think it kills them more than just running the live well on recirculate and letting them get fresh water all day long or constantly pumping in new water. I think that's much better for the fish than putting ice on them, because if you put too much ice on them, you can put them into shock.
Yeah.
They come from, if you catch a fish in 30 foot of water, the chances are it's 71, 72 degrees down and it's 76 on the surface. So as soon as you dump that big bag of ice in there, if you dump 5 pounds, instantly that water goes from 72, 73, 80 to 45. Think about, like, the way I look at it is, do I want to come in from steaming hot outside and jump into an ice bath? Probably not.
I mean,
I did feel great, but about 2 seconds in, you're going to be frozen.
Yeah.
So,
which is actually kind of crazy when I think about it, because this plaque right here, my buddy and I won that tournament, and it was, I believe it was end of July on Canisius, and we had 22 pounds of largemouth, and basically we dumped 3 bags of ice throughout the course of the day, making sure there's always ice in the live well with those largemouth.
Huh.
And I was like, I'm thinking about it now, and it's like, how'd they not die?
Yeah, you got lucky. It must have been sweltering, so the ice didn't really help, but I'm sure there was ice floating in there for a while.
Yeah, it was pretty hot.
Yeah, so
we got lucky.
Largemouth tend to be a little more hardy than smallmouth, too. They can take those temperature swings, I think, a little better.
We did have one fish die, so we had a half-pound penalty. But that was because it was a 4.5-pounder, and it literally swallowed my frog.
Oof. Need some Sprite.
Some reason the frog was upside down, so it went into his tongue, and he kind of bled out.
Never good.
Yeah, I don't know how the heck that happened.
Funny, but not funny story.
How do you get a frog hook out of a tongue of a fish and have it survive?
You don't.
Yeah.
You just leave the frog in there.
It was kind of cool. Brandon Lewis, he's a kid that I just posted a video today with. I went fishing with him on Hemlock, and I kind of showed him it was kind of a cool learning lesson, because it showed how it does suck for us anglers at some point in time, but you kind of have to play the percentages there, where I caught a fish on a drop shot, smallmouth on a drop shot, and basically it was one of those things where I had dropped down on it and I just dead sticked it, and I think it was one of the cases where I picked it up and I had no idea.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
When I went to reel back in, it was there, so I brought it up. It had the hook already past its throat, and in that case, you don't want to pull it out. So basically, all you can do at that point is cut it and hope that it digests that hook.
Yeah.
So it was kind of rough, but it's
Poor guy.
Things where they're better off you just letting them swallow the hook versus you trying to yank. If you yank it out, they're dead.
Oh, for sure. Not a chance that fish lives if you yank it out.
No. So you just kind of gotta say, well, I hope this is one of those fish you find that there's a hook hanging out of its butthole, and you just take the hook out.
Yeah, at that point, you just want to let them pass it naturally, I think.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing else you can do. I mean, the hook was tiny, too. It was a little tiny drop shot hook, so
they'll be fine.
It's better than a 5/0 EWG that they're going to have to somehow pass through, which they'll never do.
So one of the craziest fish kill stories I have, and I feel terrible for this fish, it was at Irondequoit Bay, and we're fishing trees, and I hooked one on the flipping stick, just a beaver or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. Using a 4/0 trocar. I brain hooked it so deep in its brain that when I set the hook in it, the fish came up sideways. Didn't even fight. It was a 3.5-pounder. I had to pull the hook out, throw it in the live well because I can't throw it back. So I literally killed the fish on a hook set.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often.
Right? It was literally the EWG was so deep in the roof of its mouth that I could hardly get pliers on it to pull out.
Oh my god.
It was ridiculous.
Dude, I hate when you set the hook and it goes through their eye.
Oh, I always feel bad, like on 1 pounders or 2 pounders, the little ones.
Yeah, I feel, or like they take a treble hook and it's like snagged outside the eye.
Oh, poor fish.
I feel
Happens to smallies all the time.
Yeah. Oh my god. That just makes me feel awful because I'm thinking about it. It's like, imagine that you're just sitting there like, yeah.
It's like taking a hockey puck to the chin or the cheek.
Oh my gosh.
It's like the same thing, but without hook, like penetration.
Yeah, but at least you keep your eye after that.
Sometimes.
Dude, oh my gosh, those videos I used to those nights when I couldn't sleep and I would just browse YouTube for hours when it's like there's like all those hockey videos of like hockey hits or hockey injuries. Oh my god, they're brutal.
Oh, some of them are horrible.
The one is the worst one that I'll never forget is can't remember his name, but he's on the Panthers in the Sabres arena. The skate to the throat.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
There's been like 2 or 3 times in Buffalo where a player's neck has been cut by a skate.
Wasn't it a goalie the first time?
Yeah, one time it was the goalie for the Sabres, then it was the player for the Panthers. And then I don't remember the other one, but I feel like it was just recently. It was actually like underneath the eye. He took it the next time. But there's been so much blood on that ice.
So much blood, but no trophies.
Truth. You know what? I do have a conspiracy theory here. I think that draft was rigged when the Penguins got Sidney Crosby, so because they didn't want Pittsburgh to go bankrupt and team to move because they were on the verge of bankruptcy when they drafted him.
He kind of shifted there.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Did you know Crosby used to live with Lemieux?
I believe it.
In his first couple of years in the NHL, he lived in Lemieux's house.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That was back when Lemieux still played.
Yeah, I remember that. He came back after he had, cancer, I think?
Like something on his back.
Yeah, I think he had cancer.
Or something crazy. I don't know. Let's browse this. Ignore the Bassmaster screen for a second. We'll get to that.
Paul Mueller.
Did Mario Lemieux die? No, he didn't have. Yeah, died.
I'm pretty sure he had cancer.
Lemieux missed more than 100 games with back problems in his career, but had cancer. Lemieux was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease, known as Hodgkin's lymphoma, after an enlarged lymph node was removed from his neck, and that's from NHL.com, so that's true. Yeah, the Mario Lemieux Foundation, even another thing.
I think he retired because of the cancer, or something crazy, and then he came back. I don't know. I've never really been a Pens fan, though.
There was a big standing ovation when he came back. I do recall.
Yeah, he was wasn't he part owner at the time or something ridiculous too? And he's like, I'm just gonna play.
I don't recall because I knew it was a back problem. I didn't know it was cancer, and I kind of feel bad I didn't know that. But
come on, man.
Pretty much after that season, he called it quits, and that's when he got the huge standing ovation, came back, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm buying out the team."
Yeah.
But I guess we can get on this now. But dude, before we get to this, we haven't even announced what we wanted to announce today.
Oh yeah, take it away, bud.
Yeah, so now I'm joined by this big jerk on every Monday live stream.
Dick.
So every Monday we're going to have a live stream on YouTube, and I won't be by myself. And unless Andrew has fatherly duties or wife duties, he will be joining me as the official co-host of the Serious Angler podcast.
Should be a blast.
Oh hell yeah!
We're gonna pick on some people and talk Bassin.
Oh yeah,
mostly Forrest.
Forrest is the only person we really talk a lot of trash to.
That's true. That's true.
Forrest and Steve.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe a little Steve.
We just like to push Steve's buttons.
It's easy.
Get him riled up.
Poor
I don't think he listens to this, so I love talking crap about him, just to tell him I did talk crap about him, because that gets him to listen to it.
Yes. I should message the group right now and just be like, yo, Steve, talking mad shit, bro.
That would be funny. I wonder what his answer would be.
Louis chat's going down on the pod.
All right, switching gears. Congratulations, new co-host. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I think this is my 4th time now, including the first ever live stream on the 100th episode, which was a blast. I hope everyone has listened to it. So that was like 2 hours of mayhem and fun.
It was. Dude,
So-
we had just from who tuned into the live, so not people who viewed it after it was over, 74 people.
Nice.
That's
It's legit.
Good. It's pretty good.
Hopefully the 200th episode, we can double that number.
I'm hoping to triple it.
Hey, triple's good.
I like that.
I
Over
like
100.
lofty goals.
Over 100 would be cool. Because
We'll
I
get
think,
there.
like, if you look at it, Bass Talk Live is probably the biggest name in the fishing podcast realm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they get like 150 to 180, maybe 200 people live. So I don't know. But that's like every show is live. It's not like
Yeah.
one week type of thing. So like
It's true.
that's pretty dang good getting that made.
That's
I can't
true.
like those guys do it full time. Well, I know Mark Jeffries does it full time. And that's so like they have to get some crazy good numbers for him to do it full time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just in sponsorships alone and marketing deals, he has to be having probably a certain amount of followers and listeners. And I mean, if they're streaming live, could they be listening elsewhere too? That's another question.
Yeah. Well, I know that because I listened to it. I listened to it for a couple of months just from Apple Podcasts until I figured out actually like when it was on YouTube live. I went to the page and just put notifications on. But no, it's a cool setup. I would like to. I think I'll message Matt and ask him how the whole thing works if they're willing to give up that information on
Proprietary information.
Yeah. Yeah. But right, dude. Like I was mentioning earlier, I'm pissed about the BFLs being canceled, but
Yeah, it is what it is.
yeah,
Blame
713 made up for it though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
That's
pretty
just
exciting.
27 pounds, 1 ounce is leading the St. Lawrence River tournament, and it's anchored by a 7 pound, 13 ounce smallmouth. Not a largemouth, a freaking smallmouth.
Yeah,
A 713 New York largemouth is freaking insane, let alone a smallmouth.
I don't know if I've ever heard of a 713 largemouth getting weighed in any of our tournaments. Like close. Like I know Cuco will pump out a few like mid sevens every summer. But
there was two 7-pounders caught at Canisius.
Yeah, but were they 713?
Oh, not high sevens, I don't think. I think they were low sevens.
Yeah. Like even in that spring tournament I fished there was I think the biggest fish was like 7.7 or 7.6. That was a largemouth.
I think in 2014 or 15 there was like a 913 caught on Canisius.
Oh. I believe it.
There's got to be a 10 there somewhere.
Oh, dude, any one of our Finger Lakes, I'm sure there's. I know. I was reading. I think it was like 8 years ago. I was reading an article how they used to electroshock Juanita Lamoca, and I'm not going to name the area that I read it about, but they electroshocked one over 10.
So, what are you doing next weekend?
I mean, granted, the study was from like early 2000s, so who knows if that fish is even there? But I'm just like,
so you're saying that's a 20-pounder now?
It could be, but I mean, in that lake, that fish has to be so old. I don't even think there's aloe-lives in that lake.
I have no idea what's in there.
Yeah, I know there's giant smallies, but every Finger Lake has giant smallies. So
all of them have it. It just depends on how many.
Yeah, I think they. Honeyoy has big smallies, man.
I just take every opportunity to trash Honeyoy just because I know it bugs you.
It doesn't bug me because, like, as much as I love that lake, I pick on it too because, as you're saying, Honeyoy special, 5 fish for 7 pounds. Like, I think they used to have high-low tournaments there. Like, they would have a winning low weight and then a winning high weight, and like the low weight would be like 5 1/4, like just ridiculous. Like,
could you imagine like strategizing? But like, all right, we're gonna go catch the smallest bag today.
Do you know how hard it is to catch a 12-inch fish in LOI-fed lakes? Like, even in Honeyoy, every fish you catch is like 13 to 14.5 inches, 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. And they're weighing in 5 1/4. It's like, what do you use to catch a squeaker 12-inch and 5 of them? It's so hard to do. But yeah, these weights are just ridiculous. You want to talk about our bet that we have, our little side bet?
Yeah, we have a bet going on. You can explain it if you want. You can talk about it.
Bailey asked me, what was it, Tuesday, what I thought the winning weight would be. And I was like, oh, he's like, do you think he'll break 100? I was like, I don't think so. I don't know. But 85 of the best anglers, they all know the best areas. I was like, I bet it takes somewhere between 93 and 96. And Bailey's like, I'm going to go 98 to 100. I was like, okay. And then he's like, want to bet a meg draft? After I said, I think like $5 or something.
Yeah,
and I was like, yeah, I'll bet a meg draft, like $5 for a meg draft. And so I was like, all right, let's split the difference. Anything under 97, you owe me a meg draft. And anything over 97, I owe you one. Right now, it looks like I'm going to get obliterated. But by day 3, count my word, by day 3, I bet you those weights are probably right around 70 pounds.
Let's see here. Let's see. You need put on my calculator here. So I thought we did 97 and a half up is me, 97 and a half below is you.
No, we just split it even, 97.
Oh, we did 97?
So anything, I think so.
Well, let's look at our messages real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Just type in 97. You can search it.
You can search in your text messages?
Oh, dude, come on.
That's a thing now?
It's always been a thing.
I'm always behind the 8 ball on the new stuff. I feel like I'm old. Let's see.
Yep, right here, 97 and under, I win.
Okay.
Right
so
here, right?
97, you said 97 and under. Okay.
So 97 and over, you win.
So 97 on the dot, you would win. 97 and 1 ounce, I would win.
Yes.
Okay. So 97.1 divided by 4 would be 24.27. Let's see how many people got over 25. Okay, so I am relying on at least 5 gentlemen to keep going with their bags. Or at least this Chad. I've never heard of this.
You don't know who Chad Morgenthaler is?
No.
Oh, man.
I could have screwed up pronouncing his name.
It might be actually Chad Morgenthaler, Taylor. I don't know. Those Southern names, man. I can't wrap my head around them sometimes. But, no, he was.
Oh, he's got a lot of career wins.
He's a good stick, man.
Where's he won?
I actually think he won an elite event.
Opens and Bassmaster Classic wild card. Is that a what's the wild card? Is that to get into the Classic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He won no money. He just won he must have won an entry into the Classic.
Yeah, dude, he's a good stick.
I give him mad props for the half turtleneck.
Dude, it's so sick.
Well, I like it.
No, but I mean, he's more than half of the time in the money. You can't ask for more when you're fishing. Like I think he actually was out of the Elite Series for a couple of years, and he may have requalified back in. But yeah, to be over half the times of the money when there used to be 15 people fishing the Elite Series, and they only paid to 50th. That's pretty good.
Let's see. He got 10th place at Lake Gunnersville in 2015. He got a 2nd place at Toledo Bend in 14.
Dude, that Toledo Bend tournament, if I remember correctly, he threw a buzzbait all 4 days.
That's ridiculous.
If I remember the right one.
Bassmaster Tour number 4. Was that what it used to be called?
Yeah, it used to be like Bassmaster Tour. Then they used to have pros and co's, kind of like how the FLW was.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had like Bassmaster Top 50, 150s. They've had all kinds of different ones.
Bassmaster Tour number 2, 9th place, 18 pounds. That must have been like a 1-day tournament.
Oh, dude, that's Smith Lake back in the day when they had no electronics. Those are all spots. That could be a 3-day total.
Yikes. Santee Cooper in 2003, 79 pounds. Not bad.
Dude, that lake puts out, I think the winning weight for one of those Santee Cooper tournaments was like 131 pounds or something ridiculous. I think it might have.
Let's see. How do you in the bass track, how do you get their 5 fish? Do you know?
Right now, they're inputting them manually, I believe, because they don't have any marshals. But normally the marshal would put it in.
Oh, right.
So, like, click on Paul Mueller's real quick. They all loaded in at one time today. It was so. See how I think he just typed them all in. I'm sitting there. I think we were texting. And we're like, "Oh my gosh!" Yeah, but Corey had a camera with him. And Chris had a camera with him, so the camera guy was inputting his weights.
You're right. It's not even worth it. I was going to look at individual fish, but Chris Johnson had, what was his big fish? 6?
6.
Yeah. Which is kind of, if you think about it.
Go back to his fish real fast. Can you go back to Bass Track?
Yeah, it said 3 5-pounders, like 350, 50, 50, and then 4s and 4s, and it was only 26 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, I think 2 of those were 6s. And that one was like just under 5, and then he had 2 4s.
Yeah, 5'5", 4'8", 5'5". Oh yeah, he said he had 24 pounds, but he had 27.
Sandbagger.
Like, I understand it though, because like what I was mentioning to the guys in our little chat, I mentioned, if I'm out in the water and they mentioned to me that it's up to you to update your bass track, that is the last thing that's going to be on my mind.
Oh, me too.
I'm gonna be like,
I wouldn't touch it.
And be like 4, maybe 5, just because I undercut all my fish.
Oh,
but that's the last thing I'm like. If I'm not used to doing that throughout a tournament, and it's up to the marshal to do that for me, I'm not going to go and waste potentially, if you think about it cumulatively, maybe 10 minutes on the amount of fish that I either catch or call. That's a lot of time wasted on my phone. So I'm going to put in something. I don't care if I get called a sandbagger. I'm going to put in my 5 fish, maybe not even put in anything, and I'm going to put my phone down after that.
Absolutely. Like, I don't even think if I was in that big of a tournament, I don't think I would want to touch my phone.
No, I don't touch my phone in tournaments.
Because I do so much research on my phone. The last thing I'd want to do is like break a rule infraction by looking at something on my phone or pulling up something or loading that I can't look at in the middle of a tournament. Be like, shit, now I got to report myself, because if you don't, now it's an ethics issue, and being ethical, that's something I wouldn't want to do.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
you don't want that next to your name when people talk about you too.
Correct.
But which is something I had to update myself on rule-wise, because in the BFL, for one, I can't use this angler bullseye. I can't have that on my hat or I get disqualified. I can't have this out looking at avionics.
Once you get into bigger tournaments, even the Fed, I think, has cell phone rules. Like, you can't have your cell phone out.
Yeah, I believe as a boater you can't, because you can't be like texting other competitors or something like that.
Right.
But like for me, I don't even touch it throughout the competition because I don't stay focused.
Right.
Like there's guys in the kayak tournaments where you have a live leaderboard, essentially like a bass track. Then guys will look at it, throughout the day, and like I won't look at it because that gets in my head. Because if I'm not leading it, I freak out. Like I'll start running and I'll start fishing too fast.
Yep.
So, and it just kind of screws me over.
Man, you got me on the yawn train here now.
Yeah. Let's see, how many 20-pound bags did we get? We got 17 20-pound bags. Are you surprised that there, or do you think that's about right?
For U.S. only water, I think that's fair. I'm surprised we didn't have 20-pound bags, and there was a couple that are real close, like Buddy Gross, which had some largemouth in his, which is sweet. Up on the Thousand Islands, that's rare now. Back in the day, that's all used to go there and catch the wind because the smallmouth were tiny. But I was expecting more big bags, and I was expecting more guys to run to Lake Ontario because that is just a mega fish factory. But I guess from listening to live, the bite out there is slightly off. And, Fighter ran out there and had 20 pounds. Corey Johnson ran out there and had, 19 and a half. And then all the guys that fished the river put out mega bags. And they all fished basically the same area. Like Chris Johnson, Cliff Perch, Paul Mueller, Garrett Paquette, they were all fishing, I believe, actually in the same area to start the day. And Greg DePalma. who had a good bag too. So I don't know what Hunter was doing because he had like what 10 pounds.
Did I not tell you? Did I
Yeah.
not text you and tell you that I was excited to see what Hunter does?
He's a good fisherman.
Because he brought in like 22 pounds of all largemouth last year.
Yeah. And I think that was day 2 he did it. Like day 1 he had a good bag of smallies, and then like I remember watching live by like 9:30 in the morning. His smallie bite was dead, and he was like, "I'm going largemouth fishing." He just started railing on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had a 6-pounder that tournament.
He had something really nice. I do remember that.
Like I'm going up there. I think in like 3 weeks. The week of, so you have the Fed tournament there the 16th. I'll be there the 18th through the 23rd.
I'm headed up there. I will be up there the 12th.
Yeah, 18th through the 23rd, I'll be there. So I'm going to take the boat. I'm going to run to that area where they were jacking on them and see if they're still alive. And then 1 or 2 of the other days, I'm staying on Wellesley Island. I think I'm going to go largemouth fishing in all like the little bays around there. So it's going to be fun. Smallmouth fishing. I love smallmouth fishing because I live on Lake Erie. But if it's a world-class largemouth fishery, why wouldn't I go try and catch a big old green freaking melon head? Like that just, there's something about a 7'6", 20, 25 pound fluoro or 50 pound braid that just gets me all jittery. Like,
yeah, you have a point.
There's nothing like setting the hook and all of a sudden you're like, ooh, this one's big enough to pull me back. Like, this is fun.
So I highlighted 2 guys here. One of them is a good buddy of ours. Garrett's a good buddy of mine as well. And I have these highlighted because if anybody's listening that listened to the last podcast I did with Adam, we went through both of our fantasy fishings, and I told him I was torn between Garrett and Destin, and it looks like it doesn't even freaking matter which one I picked because they have the same exact weight.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. We'll see how they do tomorrow.
Yeah, I felt slightly guilty. I wanted to put it on my story, but I didn't want to make Destin feel bad that I didn't pick him. But now I don't feel as bad because they got the same amount of weight.
Yeah, we'll see how tomorrow goes. Tomorrow's going to be a completely different game. I'm telling you, like, the American side of that river does not have nearly as many quality fish as the Canadian side. Like, if you go back the last 4 times they fished there in the river only, KVD won in Canada. Micah Frazier won in Canada. Who won before that when the weight was down a little bit? Polnick won in Lake Ontario.
Blew everyone out of the freaking water.
Yeah. And then I don't remember who won the other Thousand Island tournament.
I have no idea.
Who won it the year before KVD?
What year?
I don't remember. I know KVD won on spy baits. I know Michael won last year. It would have been 2017. Yeah, because 18 KVD won.
Total weight.
Click on that.
90.3 was a total weight.
Kevin Van Dam won that one. So who won in 2018?
I thought that was Micah. No,
Michael won 2019. Josh Bertrand. That's right.
I don't forget about that. 95.3.
Yeah, but those are also
looking good for me in history.
Canadian fish.
This is not looking good for me for the 90.
So like, I mean, there's a good chance where I know all this probably won't get loaded till after the tournament. So if any of them listen, they'll be fine.
Well, this is gonna be up tomorrow.
Oh, that's fine. But like
87. Oh, I'm screwed, dude. I owe you a mag draft probably.
Yeah, last year, like I think they got there a little later, and the fishing was extremely tough. 2 years ago, after KVD won up there, they had like the Costa there, like right after it, and I was there the weekend before the Costa tournament, and oh my gosh, was that river horrible! Like I consider myself a decent smallmouth fisherman. I can hold my own against a lot of the good guys around here, I think. And I went up there and I couldn't catch fish bigger than 2.5 pounds. And I fished 4 days straight. I caught like 45 fish each day for about 10 pounds total. And I guess ignorance is bliss because I was kind of constrained on where I could go. I had a 17-foot boat, and I was right on the Canadian line. I had my Canadian license, but my then fiance, now wife, was with me, and she didn't want to get hers. And plus, I kind of just wanted to stay out of the way of everybody that was practicing. So I kind of just fished like out of the way, kind of crappy stuff. But I did find one sweet area where I had one big bite and the fish came off, but I never caught another big one there. Did catch some good largemouth, but the smallmouth fishing was awful.
Jeez. That's tough. Sounds like you need some revenge.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes this time.
Yeah.
So
you know
I
what
don't.
surprises me though? Look at this. Look at this lineup. 39th place, Chris Saldane. 40th, Pipkins.
Yeah.
41, BP. 42, Downey.
That tells you how tough
Boy.
it possibly could get when you have phenomenal smallmouth fishermen halfway down the field. Like Brandon Lester, good smallmouth fisherman. Gussie, great finesse fisherman. Jamie Hartman, a New York hammer who cut his teeth on Lake Ontario.
Yep.
In 50th. Let's see here. Who else is a good smallmouth fisherman? Ray Hanselman, good. He's a good Clearwater fisherman. Carl Jochimson, who finished like second or third in the Costa that year when I was up there, averaging like 22 pounds a day.
Gerald Swindle, the best smallmouth fisherman there ever was.
But like, that's the whole thing. It's like there are really good fishermen. Kyle Welcher just buried himself. He was leading rookie of the year, I'm pretty sure, and he just dropped big time. John Cruz, 2 fish. Like,
I cannot. Yeah, there was 2
Cruz
bags
missile. Like,
that didn't have a limit, and I am very shocked that no one.
Me too, because I feel like John Cruz has done good up there historically, like top 20s.
I don't know what happened.
It's that American side of the river. Like, if you look at the topography of like the contour lines, can you pull up Navionics on here?
Chris Grow. I didn't even see that.
Yeah. Last year, after day 1, he had like 22 or 23 pounds, if I remember. Can you pull up Navionics on here or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Just like go to the Clayton area and kind of zoom in on it. Like,
we're getting real in depth here.
Just so you understand, like how nuts, like it'd be about right there. Actually, see that's the 81 bridge. Zoom in right in that area. That's where Clayton would be.
Here?
Yeah, so right over here. So this is where I'm going to be camping. Is like right there. But
I can't
right
where you're pointing.
Oh, sorry. So here. So you have the 81 bridge. I'm kind of pointing to. So you see where like the left
Here?
Wellesley Island is?
Here?
Where's your mouse? Yeah, so there, go down like southeast a little. Yeah, so Clayton is like this area there, Blind Bay. So keep zooming in, kind of go left, and then zoom in where all these like little islands are. Look how deep that mother is. Like that trench is 120 feet deep. And then if you go up on top of like some of the shoals, it'll be like 4. Like
4, yeah, literally 4 foot.
Yeah, 4 foot in the middle of the river, and those aren't even pin marked.
$600 feet.
600 feet away, and it's 100 foot of water.
Oh my god. Oh wait, yeah, no, wait. Let's look at this. 600, or let's go 800 foot, and it's a difference between 4 and 111.
Yeah, a half mile.
God, that's ridiculous. That is whack, though.
Yeah, like that.
I wouldn't
the
know.
whole river's like that. Oh, and that's the issue. Is like you almost have to look at it like ledge fishing. You have to find the best ledge with. Ooh, there it is, Round Island. Nice. So if you want to know where everybody's fishing, just zoom in on Round Island.
I don't even know where you're looking.
So you see where the New York sign is?
Yeah. Here?
Kind of zoom in right. Yeah, that island right there is Round Island. Well, that's Grenadier. So go back up. Yeah, keep going up the river just a little bit. Keep going.
Good.
Oh, Carlton Island. Sorry. This is basically where like half of your top 10 are fishing is this area. But like zoom in, see this buoy line right to the north side of Carlton Island?
Here? North which side?
I wish I could like take control.
I know, right?
So right underneath products, there's like a green pin buoy on your screen.
Here.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's where the madness went down online, where the 4 people were stacked this morning.
We're totally exposing all of this. And we're just going to get a random message from Chris Johnston just with a lot of swear words.
Well, I mean, they posted it on Bass Live, like right where they were fishing.
Dude, how do you feel about that? Because I'm one that I like to, I mean, I'm sure you like to protect your spots too. Like, would this be a reason to deter you from going to your honey holes?
No, I would hope I wasn't on live. We'll just say that if I ever made it to that level, which I don't think I ever could.
I wonder, like, obviously, because you have sponsor commitments, but I wonder if you could decline a camera. Like, if you're first and you like are fishing a honey hole, if there's a way where you can decline having a camera.
That's a good question. We should reach out to Elite Series pros and put a random poll. I'm like, can you decline a camera?
We should
anonymously.
I'm gonna message Ronnie Moore right now and ask him.
Oh, that is a great person.
Let's see.
Man,
I'm gonna text him right now.
I won't even go into depth. Like I study maps like no one's business, and there's all kinds of like little tips and tricks I can give you, but I'm not going to expose them. That you can literally figure out where anybody is fishing based on shoreline and watching videos over and over and over again. And I mean, does it work? Yes, sometimes it doesn't. But I can tell you, like a couple years ago, 2 years ago, I was pre-fishing for Cayuga, and I watched one of the Elite Series events, and one of the cameramen accidentally put one of the Elite Series pros waypoints.
Oh, he's typing.
On one of the spots, and I legitimately went to that waypoint and in practice caught like a 6.4. And I was like, my gosh, this is some juice.
I said, is it possible for an angler to decline having a camera in their boat? Obviously, sponsors won't like it, but if they don't want their spots or baits on camera, he said no. Wow.
There's no declining.
You are
the answer from Ronnie himself. I like it. Well, I mean, I get it too, though, because they're trying to grow the sport constantly, right? So, and that's their commitment is they probably sign a waiver. I don't even know if they would sign a waiver. It's probably like just a courtesy thing. Like if you're on them, you're going to get media exposure. So,
yeah. When they are within camera range in the standings, they will have a camera in their boat. It's good to know. It's interesting.
Yeah. So that's another thing though, like with GPS and all the latest, greatest technology, nothing's a secret. Absolutely nothing is a secret. You can find anything, anywhere, if you put your mind to it and you put your head down and grind.
Except when you're in Lake Eufaula and there's new brush piles all over.
Daily. Dude, I wish we could plant brush piles in New York.
Brush pile at the end. Like, it's just going to be just brush.
Yeah.
It's going to look like a Lake Fork stump field just everywhere in the whole lake.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, one of the biggest like conservation thing is a lot of those lakes down there have nothing on the bottom. They just have shell bars. Mm-hmm. So, like, they have to put brush pile in because the fish have zero habitat besides grass. And I know some of those lakes down south don't even have grass. So it's like, what do they live in?
Yeah. It was interesting listening to Buddy Gross talk about how he only keyed in on the brush piles that had what he called shell crackers that were spawning on it.
Bluegill. Big bluegill. Is that what they call
bluegill? Okay.
Yeah.
So he said, I figured that was what it was, but I'm like, what am I missing out on here? What the hell's a shell cracker? But he said if there are shell crackers, as he quotes, so bluegill spawning around the brush pile, and it had fresh green leaves on it still, meaning that it was recent, that's where the biggest fish came off of, because that's what was putting out the most oxygen.
Yeah.
I thought that was super, super interesting.
Yeah, man. Now everybody's going to be down there side scanning looking for leafy green trees.
Yeah, and spawning or bluegill beds around the
Now that brings up another interesting point. Like, what kind of leaves should we be looking for on these trees, right? Are we looking for like an ash tree, or are we looking for pine trees? Like, which one is going to be better? And that's the other crazy thing is, like, if you know how to adjust your side scan on your Hummingbird or Lowrance or Garmin unit, you can literally tell what tree you are looking at because of the detail can be so good.
It's unreal.
It's just absolutely absurd where technology has come from 10 years ago to today with graphs. Game changers.
Literally, Jacob Wheeler has found the best way to run electronics on his boat, because all these dealers, literally all of them, I think the only one he doesn't have on his boat is a Ray Marine. Probably the only one, because they don't make anything good, I don't think. But
they used to have some really legit stuff, but then it kind of just like fizzled out because I don't think they could compete with Hummingbird or Lowrance.
They're big in the kayak realm for some reason. I don't know why. Could not tell you. But basically, Jacob Wheeler has 2D on the front, Panoptics, and 360. With the Mega Gen 3, like side imaging, and then you have probably auto chart he's probably got as well. Like, you're talking the best of the best from every company all put together. That has to be a transducer wiring nightmare.
Oh, not even a wiring nightmare. I can't even imagine what the interference is like.
Imagine tuning that.
Oh.
That has to take a lot of work.
Wizard.
Props to him, because it's obviously working for him.
Wizard. That's like straight wizard magic, because I mean, I get interference and I have just a couple crappy Lowrance hooks and I get interference when I start playing with sensitivity. So I can only imagine.
It's a lot. It's really a lot. But yeah, back to the standings here. I am very surprised that, I mean, granted, it's only 2 people that didn't actually. Wait, no, it's 3 people. Your boy Cody had 3.
Cody, Western Fishing Operations. I'm honestly surprised with Cody. Like, he's from Oregon, Columbia River, deep, big current, windy waters. I was really expecting him to be a dark horse and really do well. But I mean, he's got the first year Elite Series stuff. He did good the first 2 tournaments. I actually think he had a pretty good classic too. And then to go to St. Lawrence, and that just proves that sometimes smallies can be difficult.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Just different.
Personally, I think largemouth are way harder to catch than smallies, but
I think so too. I think it's finding the smallmouth that's the tricky part.
If you find them, they usually eat, and if they don't eat, leave them and go find other ones, because one of them will be eating somewhere.
St. John's River 23rd, the Classic 51st, Lake Eufaula 47th. So he's got a check.
And he's doing decent.
Yeah, he's doing well. I mean, he's in the. I mean, that average is still top 50.
Yeah. I mean, when you come from the West Coast to the East Coast, it's completely different fishing too.
Jesse,
and the other,
I don't even know who that guy is.
Oh, he's the owner of Enigma Rods. Jesse T.
Oh boy. Let's see. Bay, Oh, that's an open wild card. 9th at Winyah Bay. It's probably because he's not throwing a Douglas.
True.
Selfless plug.
Big surprise. Scott Canterbury, AOY leader at the moment.
That's going to hurt him.
Oh, big time.
If he stays there or drops.
Well, that's a crazy thing. Last year, I think he finished 3rd. He was fishing Canada, right next to Micah Fraser, who ended up winning. Rick Clun.
The man.
Dropping the hammer.
The man. Let's see. Who else is it? I want to see. Who do you think is a shocker? Is there a shocker in the top 10 to you? I mean, I don't know the Chad guy, so I can't say him.
Top 10 shocker.
I don't think there's a shocker.
No, Brock Mosley had a bad tournament there last year, but he is good. Cliff Perch, not a shocker. Like, he's my dark horse to win.
He was right next to the Johnson, or next to Chris.
Cliff Perch comes from Arizona, which is deep, clear water, and they have mega smallies. He knows how to finesse fish.
I know
top 20, he qualified through Central Opens. Top 20 surprise for me might be
Steve Kennedy.
No, Steve Kennedy fished in the top 10 last year. Yeah, I mean, the biggest surprise might be to me is Mike Huff, but he did good there last year too.
Maybe Buddy Gross because he's a ledge Chickamauga TVA dude, but I guess a ledge like deep water.
Ledge fishermen usually do pretty good with smallmouth fishing. Usually.
Interesting. I guess I can see that comparison. I can see that translate.
Yeah, like I can't really say there's like any surprises up there.
29th.
Jerkbait fishermen. There's a lot of shallow fish on that river.
Is it Kelly? John Cox, 33rd. His post made me laugh of him showing everyone him using his down imaging. It's 2D. Just 2D.
If John Cox learns how to read electronics, we're all screwed.
We're done. Absolutely screwed. I thought, what was it, Kelly J, or was it? I'm trying to remember if I'm getting this confused.
Jay Ellis, maybe? Are you getting confused with?
There was someone, I think it was Pangrak on BTL, that was joking, saying how Kelly J is going to be lost because he's a shallow fisherman.
No, Kelly J usually does pretty well in smallmouth tournaments. Usually.
Let's see. Top 10s. The Alabama boy. St. John's, Gunnersville, Kentucky. He's got a Champlain, 5th place. Sam Rayburn, Seminole, Toho, Martin. So yeah, kind of all southern, really.
And Champlain is just its own magical beast. So.
Yeah. Which I need to revenge on because I didn't catch a fish over 3 pounds.
Dude, it's tough to catch big ones there. Like, I mean, if you look at it, right? Like, if you have 15 pounds a day at Champlain, you're making the cut.
Yeah.
If you have 17 pounds a day, you make a top 10. So it's a 2-pound difference, and it's usually if you catch a 5-pounder.
Mm-hmm.
You need 18 to 19 pounds a day to win there with a 20-pound bag. One of those days. And that's when you win Champlain.
Yeah. I still can't believe Seth fight or what was the bag that Aaron Martins finished with?
Oh, it was like 24 or something, just ludicrous. And it was all largemouth.
Was it 2018?
Yeah, 2018. Because they went from Champlain to St. Clair.
I can't play it fast.
And that was the tournament. I think Jason Christie won that St. Clair tournament.
I believe you're correct.
Cracking a tube on a bait caster. That was so much fun to watch.
Should we watch it? There's no thing for it. That's not the open. Huh. Past Masters, Elites. No, that's not it. Yeah, that's whatever. Yeah. Overall,
sorry, I had like 17 text messages.
I'm very excited to see day 2.
Me too. I think my prediction is weights will come down a little bit, and somebody down here in the 19-pound range is going to drop a mega bag because Lake Ontario is any day is going to go up. Those fish probably spawn a little later than the river fish, I think, and they're a little bit. I have zero experience there, but based on what people have told me is. Those Lake Ontario fish are a completely different animal than those river fish. And one day, one of those guys fishing that lake are going to drop a monster bag. It's going to be dumb.
Hopefully it's this guy.
Right. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah.
Man. I can't wait for that Douglas tournament. That's going to be so much fun on Erie.
I can't wait to just talk crap.
Yeah, it's your birthday weekend. Make it
My birthday weekend. I don't care what happens. I'm fishing on my birthday.
Yeah, it's true. Like, we're not going to have St. Lawrence weights, but for a team tournament, it's going to be legit. If the lake is open both days, fingers crossed, it'll take
Hope it's open.
56 to 58 pounds to win, I bet.
If the lake's
for 2
open.
days, if the lake is open.
That would be pretty cool. I asked for two things from that. 2 birthday wishes. 1, the lake is open both days with decent weather. So I guess that's 2 wishes. So the 3rd wish, I finally break the freaking 6-pound mark after being 2 ounces away. Good grief.
In 2 days, you should break the 6-pound mark. Every time I fished out there in November, I have caught a 6-pounder.
So when are we going?
All of November.
All of November. I better tag out in deer season pretty quick because
you better because I'm going to be fishing.
Yeah, hopefully I'm
pretty.
Buffalo by then.
They're pretty easy to find that time of year too because I get in groups of about 300 fish, so you just pluck on them.
Stupid.
It's dumb, but they live in tiny little areas. So like when you get on one, you can just blast them until they stop biting, and then you have to idle around until you find the next group of fish, and then you blast on them. But you can have 60 to 150 fish days, and they're all 3+ pounds.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Now I'm saying this, we're going to go out there, and it's going to suck every time.
Shush. Don't jinx us.
Oh, man.
Well, dude, we're going to sign off here. We've been going for an hour and 10 minutes, but I am super excited for you to be a co-host.
Can't wait.
Person to be my co-host because not only do we get along, but we also hate each other at the same time. So it's a lot of fun.
True.
I don't know anybody else that I could share water with in a tournament and not be annoyed.
That was a friggin' hoot, man. I was dying the whole time.
Yeah. And we got to make fun of Forrest the whole time.
Oh, dude. I'll never forget the first time I ever met Forrest is I pull up on him. I was like, I told you I'd run you over, bitch. And he's like, fuck you, Andy.
What a great introduction.
Oh, yeah. Broke the ice right there. Been
comical burgers and milkshakes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we made up over burgers and milkshakes.
Forrest still owes me for that.
Did you buy? Oh, you paid for them, didn't you?
Yeah, no, it's okay. I totally forgot about it till now.
Perfect. All right, man. You have a good night, and I'm sure I'll talk to you shortly.
Yeah. All right, dude. See you in a little bit. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that podcast there with Andy. I'm super pumped to have him be as a co-host. It's going to be a blast for the Monday nights. He's going to be the co-host for Monday night live streams from now on. Every Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern is what we're shooting for time-wise. We will do a live podcast on YouTube. So set your notifications. Go to my YouTube channel. Click on that notification bell so you guys can know when I'm going live. That way you don't miss out on it. You can come in with questions. We're going to have special guests each time. We're going to maybe have some panel podcasts that we're going to have live, which would be pretty cool. Everybody seemed to have liked the smallmouth panel that we did a while ago because that is now my #1 rated podcast. So that is pretty awesome. And it's awesome to see that an idea that a group of friends and I generated has become that popular. So it's been pretty sweet. And then we're going to try to see if we can do something like that live where people can come on and ask questions as we're discussing certain topics. So that's going to be pretty sweet. And we're going to sign off here with that. But thank you again to Douglas Outdoors and Queen Tackle for your guys' support. Guys, if there's certain people you want to see on the show, because, it's not just my eyes that I like to see people passionate and dedicated come on this show. Like, obviously, this is why I started the podcast, because I wanted to talk to people who share the same passions, share the same work ethic, dedications that I put into the sport, and then come on here to learn about their story and talk fishing. It's hard for me to find everybody. So if you guys find somebody that you think will be good for the show, go down in the comment section, shoot me a message over social media. Let me know. Recommend a friend by all means. That would be awesome. I would love to get recommendations. It helps me out. It makes my job easier to find these people because find myself hunting on social media for somebody and then doing research, and it's just a long list. But either way, if you have somebody that in mind that you think is great for the show, you think would be a great recommendation to come on, reach out to me over comments or, like I said, whatever, social media, and let me know. I'd be pretty excited to hear what you guys think would be great. And also, that being said, real quick, if you have any ideas or topics that you want discussed, mention those as well. Shoot me a message or comment. Those would be great to learn, because I could do Q&As, we could do panels, I could get somebody on here, we can talk about certain topics that you guys want to talk about for the whole time. So let me know about that. And again, thank you to all sponsors that support this podcast. I will mention or bring those up right here. That's sponsored by all those in the left corner. You guys can see they help our podcast out a lot. But super excited for Mondays. This Monday coming up, I guess is going to be a surprise, but it's going to be a fun podcast. Hope you guys will join and be a part of it. So thank you guys again for watching and listening, and we will see you guys next time.